Hello students, as we are not able to take the normal class due to this lockdown process, this slideshow will help you study at home, understand what the Constitution of India is. Civics chapter 1, that is for class 7. The Constitution of India. What do you mean by Constitution? The Constitution is the body of rules and laws according to which a state is governed. It determines the power of government, which clearly mentions people's rights and duties. The making of the Constitution. How the Constitution is made. The cabinet mission that came to India in the year 1946 made certain proposals to constitute a constituent assembly where the members are elected by the provincial legislative assemblies. Dr. Rajendra Prasad as its chairman and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committee. The assembly had 385 members representing various parties. Due to the partition of India, the member reduced to 308. To make the constitution, it took 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to complete the work. Therefore, the constitution was finally enacted and adopted on 26 November 1949, which came into force on 26 January 1950. Preamble to the Constitution. The preamble declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. It also set out the basic ideals of the Indian Republic like justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Let's discuss one by one. Justice. All citizens are equal in the eyes of law. Every individual should get his or her due. Justice shall not be denied to anybody. Liberty. Freedom to move freely, follow the religion of his choice, and also the freedom to think and express. Equality. All the citizens are equal, where there shall not be any discrimination between people on the basis of gender, caste, creed, race, religion, place of birth, or social status. Fraternity. The feeling of brotherhood, which aims at removing social barriers between persons of different communities residing in India. Sovereign state. India is a sovereign state because India is independent both internally and externally, where she can frame her policies the way she likes and also free from the control of other countries. Socialist state. India is a socialist state. It seeks to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. It also safeguards and protects the interests of the poor and weaker section of the society. Secular state. India is a secular state. It does not promote any particular religion. It treats all its citizens equal, irrespective of their religious faith. Therefore, all the citizens are free to practice, preach, and profess any religion. Democratic state. India is a democratic state, as you all know. It is defined as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is a government in which people choose their rulers by voting them in elections. A republican state. The term republic denotes that India shall have an elected person as the head of the state. Therefore, there is no king or queen in the republic state. Fundamental rights. Now we will be studying about the fundamental rights. Rights are very essential, very much essential for the development of an individual personality and also for the collective goods. Therefore, India has 6 various fundamentals. Number 1, the first fundamental right is right to equality. A right to equality ensures equal rights for all the citizens. The right to equality prohibits inequality on the basis of caste, religion, place of birth, race, or gender. It also ensures equality of opportunity in matters of public employment and prevent the state from discriminating against anyone in matters of employment on the ground only of religion, race, caste, sex, descent, place of birth, place of residence, or any of them. Number 2, right to freedom. Right to freedom provides us with various rights. These rights are freedom of speech, freedom of expression, where we can express anything freely, freedom of assembly without arms, freedom of movement throughout the territory of our country, freedom of association, freedom to practice any profession, freedom to reside in any part of the country. However, these rights have their own restrictions. 3. Right against exploitation. Right against exploitation condemns human trafficking, child labor, forced labor, making it an offense punishable by law, and also prohibits any act of compelling a person to work without wages, where he was legally entitled not to work or to receive remunerations for it, unless it is for the public purpose like community service or NGO work. Number 4. Right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion guarantees religious freedom and ensures secular state in India. The Constitution says that the state should treat all religion equally and impartially, and that no state has an official religion. It also guarantees all people the freedom of conscience and the rights to preach. Number 5. Cultural and educational rights. Cultural and educational rights protect the rights of cultural, religious, and linguistic minorities by enabling them to conserve their heritage and protecting them against discrimination. Educational rights ensure education for everyone, irrespective of their caste, gender, religion, etc. That is, right to constitutional remedies. A right to constitutional remedies ensures citizens to go to the Supreme Court of India to ask for enforcement or protection against violation of their fundamental rights. The Supreme Court has the jurisdiction to enforce the fundamental rights even against private bodies, and in case of any violations, award compensation as well to the affected individuals. And here, the last but not the least, the important points to remember are given here. So please do read this carefully, understand it. Number 1 is, let me read it out for you. Making of the Constitution. The Constituent Assembly enacted the Constitution of India. It came into force on 26 January 1950. You should remember. Preamble to the Constitution. It is an introduction to the Constitution. It declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. Nature of the Indian state and basic ideals of Indian republic. India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic state. It is a republican state because India has an elected person as the head of the state, that is, the president. Fundamental rights. The Constitution guarantees 6 fundamental rights for the development of an individual personality and also for the common goods. Number 5. Directive principles of state policy. The aims at the establishment of a welfare state. So here I end the chapter. So dear students, behind the chapter, the last page of the chapter, there is an exercise which you should work out by yourself, reading the book. So please do answers all the questions behind, which will help you understand more on the chapter.